PKD Nambiar, is Mohammad Zubair being punished because he doesn't like the Modi government, just like Ketaki Chitale was punished because she didn't like the Sharad Pawar, the Sharad Pawar Shiv Sena government. Now we have a different government in Maharashtra. Politics moves faster than the judicial process. That I can tell you, and that should worry us. But look, serious question, PKD. Tomorrow, you can do a post on, you may you may be politically inclined, let's say, to the BJP, and you may be a critic, let's say, of Arvind Kejriwal. You can do a political post on Arvind Kejriwal and in Punjab, where you have family, and they can unleash the police. Maharashtra unleashed the police on Ketaki Chitale, and now you have BJP governments unleashing the police on Mohammad Zubair. So what kind of precedent are we setting here? Basically, it seems to me to say that please look over your shoulder before you express an opinion. That is what all of these cases seem to be about.
Well, I believe that intolerance by even any government, whether it is a state or a center, is also equally not acceptable in a democracy. And I agree that we as a citizen, we vote and elect each government to rule us. And we have all the right to criticize. In fact, in a democracy, we are the citizen is the king, not the rulers. So we elect them to rule us. So as far as that is concerned, absolutely, I am on that people have all the right to question every ruler whom we have elected. But then beyond that, in the case of Zubair, I don't know the kind of primetime shows which is taking place for Zubair. That is not the case with many of the other people. In fact, even one of the show in another TV channel with that Chetki, the girl who criticized
Ketki Chitale. That's why I mentioned
Ketki Chitale. For an example, she was there on a show with me. Imagine that 40 days, hardly any kind of a coverage was there. But whereas for Zubair, from the day one when he was arrested, from there to even now as we speak, how many shows and how many sympathizers are there. So I think there is no doubt that there is a double standard for us. The people who are criticizing the Modi government do get a huge support from some section of the media. They wanted to say that, yes, it's all happening wrong. All the democratic values are over. But let me ask you this. I know that you are also not a great supporter of the Modi government.
No, you assume. You are assuming my political preference, which has no bearing. I'll tell you, I believe my job as a journalist is to be a critic of everything.
I think I took a wrong.
I took a
wrong choice. I took a wrong.
But I just want to respond because this is said so often to me. Let me just respond, and then you can. Today journalists are expected to deliver confirmation bias. So, for example, if I don't deliver what you think, you will call me biased. I believe my job as a journalist is to be a critic of every government. What my political preferences are as a citizen has nothing to do with my professional role as a journalist. This is all that I want to say at this point, but please do complete your
But one day, I'll tell you. Barkha, instead of your name, I am taking the liberty of using the name of Mr. Ashwardhanji. Ashwardhanji, just assume for a minute that he's the Modi critic. He's the Modi critic. I believe in this.
You can call Miss Mola Modi critic. She's actually formally on the other side of the political divide. She'd raise her hand and own that. I just think I'm an equal opportunity offender. My job is to criticize everyone.
Just because Zubair is getting all the support does not mean he should be hounded.
Of course.
Can I speak what I wanted to say? I think that's the minimum which I expect at your platform. What all I am saying is that I am not saying one of the biggest crises in our media today. The people who sits in Delhi, they feel that the pura dunya hi Delhi se shuru hota hai, udhar hi khatam hota hai. Can I ask you something? In the end, almost 80% of the media in Tamil Nadu. Forget about any other state.
This is the point.
One second. I'm saying Tamil Nadu, 80% of the media in Tamil Nadu criticize Mr. Modi. All these people have been jailed. Were they all are in a different state? No. So the problem is that it is not selective problem or anything. Let us be very fair to everybody, including Zubair. I think I was supporting for the Aryan Khan, for an example. I was telling that this is not the way to do a media trial of that person. But then the way we are batting for Zubair, that is not the case with many other people. There are so many people who may have put a post
And
or
actually,
whatever
you
it may
made
be,
a
they are
very
behind the
good
bars.
point. No, PKD, I'm actually agreeing with you. It may surprise you, but I sometimes agree with you also, and sometimes you also agree with me.
I agree with you. I think a few days ago, the law minister was uh, telling that I think more than 5 lakh, yeah, more than that much cases are pending in our courts. So I think, of course, it is a worrisome thing. I think, but there is judicial activism or the police activism and all kind of media activism. These are all reality of today, because we all wanted to have instant some of these things are done for an instant gratification, which even including some of these hate speeches. But I wanted to tell you one thing today. If you have really studied, and I always feel that you are the one who really study very well and do anything, don't give that kind of a clean chit to Zubair. I have read through about, there are 20 instances in which maybe definitely you and me can definitely argue on the fact that Zubair has not done consciously. But knowingly or unknowingly, he has actually heard the sentiments of a larger people. And this is not from today or yesterday, a large number of them. Some of the places where he has edited the clips, which is not in the right way. And there are few places the fact checks was actually being realized later, and he himself had retracted that they were not the real facts. So the idea is, don't give a clean check. In fact, if I read through all the 20 points, we don't have that kind of a time. But I can tell you these 20 instances, whether
No,
it
no,
is in the case of Hathras or in.
I am no one. I am no one to give a clean sheet or a
So I'm just
certification
coming
of
to that.
guilt. I'm just saying that I don't know. That's why I said मुझे FCRA case के बारे में कुछ नहीं मालूम, because I
नहीं
don't
नहीं
know
मैं
the accounts. I don't know the accounts of another company. However, these two tweets that are in the public domain, I find very odd that he's been. Those were the original cases that he was booked for.
so
Yeah, complete your point, and I want to get the others to
yeah,
react on this point.
I think one thing
Yeah.
these days is very clear in the Nupur Sharma case, that the Supreme Court has said that anything which is sub judice, we should not argue too much. Let that be the courts decide the fate of Zubair. I think let him get clean chit if he has done nothing wrong. But I only feel that my only larger point is that wherein we are talking about hate speeches, I think hate speeches are a reality. And whether it is a Hindu or a Muslim or a Christian or in any other religion, they should all be treated similarly. But in the most of the media cases, some of these the double standards are very visible. Many people with whom I am debating right now may not really have that kind of. They will say that it's okay to have a माँ काली के बारे में अगर कोई कहते हो तो कोई ज्यादा कोई आलोचना नहीं है. But the moment we talk about some other religion and a prophet, then it's all gone. You may get a death warrant. That means we are a country where more than, I think, 35 crores odd Muslims are there. How many, even the percentage of the Muslims which are jailed in this country would be much lesser as compared to the percentage. So I think let's not, this is the most hate word actually. This is the soft way of communalizing every issue in this country. The people who may speak hate, what we call in publicly, it's much more poisonous, these words what she said right now. And I only can tell her that please retract from such kind of a word, ma'am. Because this has been watched so many people. I sometimes feel, and I really wanted to tell you from this my heart, sometimes I feel that being a Hindu sometimes gives me a second class treatment in this country. In many places, I can give you examples. I can tell you the examples. For an example, I don't want to take the name of the state. One particular state in this country, wherein a widow, there are two people. One is me and my neighbor. My neighbor, who's happened to be a Muslim, she will get loan. He will get widow loan. She will get a free housing. They will get all kind of a benefit. And the Hindu guy, he's much poorer. She's also a widow, but don't even get a 1% of the benefit from the government. And I can tell you how many governments, just go and do a research. In this country, at least 7 to 8 states do give so much of preference to Muslim community. Not only that, ma'am, one thing more. How many states in this country gives madrasa, mullahs, maulanas a pension?
Well,
or
we
a
now
salary,
have.
but
Well, we now have.
how many
Well, we now
pandits
have. Can I say something? We now have
Yeah.
state-subsidized Hindu pilgrimages
That's
as well.
now happening. That's happening now. I'm
Even in
talking about
Delhi,
in the last
even
30 years.
even by non-BJP parties. So I just wanted to make that point that this kind of old imagined separation between the state and faith seems to have pretty much collapsed, and that is a subject for a different debate.
Barkha,
Mr. Nambiar.
Hajj subsidies have been there in this country for the last 60 years. Hajj subsidies. But I am only saying that there should be a parity, but don't say that because of a Muslim,
I'm
somebody
saying
get
we
arrested.
can have a. Yes,
Mr.
okay. So
PKD, if only you had visited Jahangir Puri and seen what happened to people over there, you would have understood what I'm trying to say.
Ma'am, can I ask you something? I wanted to invite you to my hometown once, wherein, of course, I live in Delhi. 1921. You heard about the 1921 Mopila Rebellion?
Yes.
Mopila Rebellion in English. Have you heard of it?
Of course.
You understand even 1% of the thing? I wanted to take you that. I will show you wells.
Okay.
I will show you
Okay.
wells
Okay.
wherein thousands of people have been buried, killed,
Listen.
butchered.
I
So
think
don't
we can agree.
give this lesson.
I think.
So we all talk
think
about
we can
so many
agree.
incidents about
Mr.
Gujarat and
Nambiar.
etc. Do you remember that 59 people were brutally murdered in the Godhra riot?
Of course,
That
we
is
all
where it all
remember,
began.
and
So
I
don't
think
be
this
selective.
competitive.
Don't be
Remember
selective.
I think this
painful.
competitive.
Don't be selective. Don't be selective.
Okay,
You don't be
please.
selective.
No,
You
you
are being
said a word.
selective.
You
Okay,
said a
please
We
word.
now.
Call a spade as a
have criticized what
spade.
happened.
You can find examples like this of the overreach of state power in every state in India today. And that is where our attention really needs to be. And we need to all speak up, because guess what? It could be you and me next. And so, that's really where we need to focus. Thank you very much for your time, Ms. Mola, Mr. Azad, Mr. Nambiar, and Ms. Singhal. And to our audience, thank you for watching as ever. See you tomorrow.